Hey, everybody. I am Ronnie Sanders. I'm the CEO of Power Music Radio. And to tell you a little bit about Power Music, we're a 24-hour broadcasting radio station on the internet. And our music focus is R&B music. So R&B music is our universal language, but we also play Southern soul, gospel, jazz, a little bit everything. But, the passions of Power Music, we have two passions, and one is about independent artists. And we love being another platform to help independent artists showcase their music. The second passion is about the community. And I absolutely love talking to people who are doing fantastic things in the community. So with me today, I am so pleased, so impressed, and so grateful that Boaz Bivens decided to sit down and have a conversation with me. So Boaz, everybody, I want to introduce Boaz Bivens. It is a pleasure to meet you and to be able to have this conversation. So Boaz, how are you today?
Ronnie, I'm doing outstanding. If I was any better, I have a twin. It'll be two of me.
Well,
You know.
after reading some of your history, cloning you would be a great idea because we definitely benefit from people
Yeah.
like you. So,
Yeah.
Boaz,
Thank you.
what I'd like to do is just start and have you introduce yourself once again and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. Boaz Bivens, affectionately known as Coach Bo, originally from Detroit, Michigan, a place that I love dearly. I'm just grateful and thankful that I was born, raised, and reared there because that's my DNA. A lot of my upbringing and where I am today, was instilled in me, by my grandmother, growing up. So I owe a lot to the city of Detroit. Um, I graduated from Grambling State University, where I was a student athlete, a pretty good one at that, and majored in criminal justice. And initially I started out wanted to be a defense attorney, and so I had a situation that occurred that kind of changed that. And so my cousin, he, wanted to kind of follow my footsteps as an athlete and was very disrespectful. And his coach was standing right there. And I'm like, you let them talk like this or act like this? He was like, that's just the way they are. So at that point, that day, it was like an epiphany. The spirit said, well, if you become a lawyer, that means they're in the system. But if you become an educator, you can reach them before they get to the system.
That's profound.
So, yeah, so that day I said, okay, I'm just going to become a teacher and a coach. And so I've been pretty much doing that, since I graduated from college. Once I graduated, I went on ahead and got my master's at Grambling State University, where I was a graduate uh, graduate assistant, professor in the classroom, as well as a graduate assistant basketball coach, and so I've been doing that all my life, and so from there, I coached, around the country at various places, HBCUs, PWIs, high schools. I even did some substitution at a middle school, which I'll never do again. Don't have the patience. Don't have the patience for that level. And so right now, currently, I'm a professor at Clark Atlanta University, where I teach criminal justice and sociology, and then I coach basketball at Morehouse College.
Wow. All of that in the day's work.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
Yeah.
when you were young and growing up, was this in your, limelight of what you wanted to do, what accomplishments you wanted to do when you were an adult?
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. So, growing up, all I wanted to do was be a pro athlete. I played every day, and just worked tirelessly at becoming, mastering my craft. And so football, basketball, and it just was a consistent, constant, perpetual, daily. passion was to become a pro. And so when I got to college, that was it. I really didn't go there to get no degree. I really just went to become a pro. Like I knew that it was
Really?
certain steps that you had to take. And so playing college ball was one of them for me. And I just really went to become a pro, but then I got hurt
Oh, wow.
and knee surgery. And had another knee surgery. Then had another knee surgery.
Whoa.
And so, I told myself, well, if I can't become a pro athletically, I can become a pro academically.
Right.
Getting a doctorate degree is the highest level that you can get to. So that's a pro level. So yeah, so becoming a pro was always my aspirations. But unfortunately I didn't make it athletically. So academically, went on ahead and pursued that.
But you still are into the love of the sports by being a coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think uh at this point I want to pour into, those that I interact with.
Mhm.
So they can have that drive and that passion that I have, and they can propel them to achieve any goals that they may have.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now I have to confess, I am not a sports person, so I am clueless when it
Okay.
comes to sports. So
Okay.
what sport are you coaching now?
Basketball.
So you're
Yeah.
a
Coach
basketball
basketball.
coach.
Uh-huh.
And so, you just mentioned earlier that you have a game tomorrow. So you want to talk about, what your plans are for and your strategy, some of your strategies. I know you don't have much, but something
Yes, ma'am. So
tomorrow?
yes, ma'am. So we're in DC here to play Howard University. So Howard University is a Division I institution that is in the MEAC conference. And so we are actually a Division II institution. So most cases, Division II, has a slight chance to win, and so we want to defy the odds that way. The preparation going in is that, they teaching their guys the same thing that we're teaching you,
Mhm.
and all it is just energy and effort, desire and passion. How determined are you to win the game?
Mhm.
And so just want them to be competitive from start to finish, and then play, Morehouse basketball, and so once they do that, then we'll be pleased with the results either way. But we want to come out on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck on tomorrow, that's for sure. So,
Thank you.
I know that talk about your accomplishments, Boaz. I know you mentioned you're a husband, you're a father, you're a coach, but you're also a motivational speaker, you're a writer. So talk about some more of your accomplishments.
Yeah, Ronnie. So it's tough for me to talk about accomplishments because what I do, I don't do for accolades or acknowledgments. It's really,
Mhm.
in me, and so I love what I do. Uh, I wake up just to touch a life, and so in the process of doing that, then you become a motivational speaker, and so that's when individuals, you know, come back to you or circle back with you and say, you know what, you said something to me that changed my life. You inspire me. My students, they say you inspire me every day, and so those are the rewards that I relish more so than anything. You know, being an author is probably one of my biggest accomplishments
Really?
because it took a lot of discipline, it took a lot of determination, and so I never thought I would be an author. Right, that was never in my vision.
Mhm.
But as life went on, there were kind of glimpses of how short life is. And so I wanted to leave something for my kids.
Mhm.
And I'm not a businessman. I'm not in real estate. They're not going to probably see a building with my name on it or anything like that. So I wanted to leave something with them to let them know, the things that I've been through, the things that I achieved, like you said, so my kids can be proud of their father, and then also share that with their kids, their friends, and the world. So they dad left from one book, and I'm probably gonna start writing on another one as well. You
Awesome.
know, yes, ma'am.
So now you mentioned, people coming back to you and telling you how you inspire them and everything. What was your light bulb moment of saying, I'm a motivational speaker. I inspire people because, when you're helping people and
Mhm.
you just don't realize, you really don't realize the impact that you can have on a person's life. And so at some point, it's like, wow, that impact that person. And I didn't even realize, what I was saying because you had mentioned about the spirit, that
Correct.
you say something and not even realize what you had said or remember what you had said. It just comes out. So
Correct.
do you have a light bulb moment when you realize that how much of an impact you were having on people?
Yes, yes. I have one of my former players, I coach on both sides, men and women.
Okay.
And so she, became a coach. And so she wrote me this email telling me how that my influence on her was so strong that she does everything that I did for her to her team, you know. And not only that, I'm the godfather of her children.
Wow,
And
that's
so it's
awesome.
it's just like it was some things that she shared with me that I forgot about. And I was like, wow. She said, yeah, I remember when you said this, and I remember when you did that. And it helped me, and so
Mhm.
it was just like, wow, I didn't know. I had no idea, but until she sent that email, and she actually put a statement in the book, so she's in the book as well in
Mhm.
regards to her acknowledgement and quote. But when she told me that, Ronnie, I was like, wow, you never know.
Yeah.
You never. I mean, she remembered the day. She remembered the entire conversation. Man, that's deep.
That is
You
deep.
know, And so that really touched me and moved me to let me know that what I'm doing is right. You know,
It made you sit up even straighter, didn't it?
Stuck my chest all the way out. I'm telling you, I couldn't even fit my shirt no more.
So, knowing that you have this type of I'm using the word power, but in a different sense of the word power, where you have this impact on people. Do you find it intimidating at times, knowing that the words that you say really can impact a person's life?
So that's a great question
Oh, thanks.
because I get that from peers and colleagues that may I feel that I'm intimidating. My presence overwhelms them, and I'll just be me.
Hmm.
But but yeah, I think I've ran into that a few times where, people feel like I'm bigger than the room, but I'm really not. I'm just in the room, and I'm not even trying to be bigger. I really only talk when I have to talk, you know. And like you say, you asked me about, my accomplishments and things of that nature. Other people can tell you better than I can because I don't dwell on those things,
Hmm.
and so when you wake up and you know your purpose in life and you have that passion in hindsight,
Hmm.
you just go and be fruitful.
True. Think
You
about
just
it.
go touch lives. You don't worry about what other people worry about, say this, say that. But I do feel that. And it be certain times where, I'm expecting somebody to, endorse me or something like that. And then they don't. And it's like, wow, but I only can control what I can control. I don't worry about other people, and me trying to control their thoughts, their actions, and their words. Nah, I don't worry about that.
When I was reading your website, And then for some reason, when you first reached out to me, because Bo reached out to me about the author spotlight that I have on our website. And, you sent me your information and I saw coach on there, but then it didn't hit me, because there's different coaches, right? And so when you called earlier or you sent me a message and said, we're just getting to the hotel, and all, and I'm like, wait a minute, what else does he do? Because I didn't go further than your website. It's
Right.
in there, but you know how you just read?
Uh-huh.
And then I started reading more about you, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Lord, have mercy. I am
Yes,
going to sit
ma'am.
down with this man. And
Yes, ma'am.
impressive resume. And
Yeah.
so I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to actually have a conversation with you. And
Yes,
so
ma'am.
everybody, Ronnie Sanders of Power Music Radio, we're talking to Boaz Bivens and of Detroit, Michigan, and having this great conversation. So about your book. Now, the title of your book is Choices and Consequences. And so you want to talk about the journey, like you have mentioned that about writing. So how did that come about? How did that journey start?
Oh, I think it was birth with me watching the movie The Best Man.
Really?
Right. And
Huh.
so I watched the movie and then I'm hearing him, put all his friends in this book. He changed the names and this and that, this and that. He entitled it Unfinished Business. And I was like, I can write a book. And so from that day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna consider writing a book. And so, choices and consequences was easy because I know I made a lot of choices, a lot of poor choices, a lot of bad choices, and the consequences, from those I had to endure.
Mhm.
But then I made it out, right?
Right.
So I wanted to share because I know somebody else is probably going to encounter one of those choices that I made, and I could possibly help them from, embarking on some bad consequences, right?
Mhm.
And so, it was easy because it came from within. I didn't have to go stretch, reach, and search. It
Mhm.
was my life. And then I'm a great listener, right?
Mhm.
So I could sit with you, Ronnie, and then I said, okay, Power Music Radio, she doing this, she doing that. And then I could say, okay, I could put Ronnie in the book because Ronnie doing a lot of great things. Ronnie made some nice choices, And so I just, kind of had everything in me because we got a social media guy. He works with us over here at Morehouse, and he found out I wrote a book, and so he was like, "So did you just write down little notes and did this and did that?" I was like, "No, like
No,
I'm different. Like it only came to me like when I started typing.
really?
Oh, like I never wrote anything down. The only thing that I wrote down, Ronnie, was the different chapters. So choice of life, choice of love, choice of friend, choice of marriage, choice of education, right? So those is what I wrote down and everything, all the information, it just came to me and I just put it in there,
So
you
what
know.
type of period of time did it take you to bring it to completion?
Now that part, that's a
Right?
tricky question there. So the thing that I know about writing is that you have to isolate yourself with discipline. And by me doing all the things that you mentioned, it was tough. So it took some years. It took some years for me to finish. It was tough trying to actually get it published because I didn't know the process,
Mhm.
right? And so my editor said this, and it is profound. It said a lot of people know authors who write books, but very few people know authors who wrote a book.
Really? No.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you think about it, it's a lot
Yeah.
of books. You be like, oh, Terry McMillan, so and so, so. But you know, a lot of people who be reading Terry books don't know Terry,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for me to write one, and the people that I know, they like, man, Bo wrote a book.
Because you
And
gave
now
it
they
your
know
heart.
an author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you gave it your heart.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. 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 My son read it and he was like, Dad, that was deep. You know, he said, man, he said, I just want to hug you, you know, because he said, you were so liberated, so transparent, so
Mhm.
forthcoming, you know, and it's my son using these words. And I'm like, he said, Dad, it made me cry. You know what I mean? You
Wow.
know, so, and I think that the tears came from knowing, reading what his dad been through and probably some of the stuff he didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because as a parent, we don't really give our kids all the backstories.
That's right.
We only share with them the things that we want them to know.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Trying to
Yeah.
protect
So
them.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
So
when you talk about consequences, I've always told my kids, that one of the things about people thinking that being religious and spiritual, that is restrictive. And I tell them that's the opposite because we have choices. And when you have choices, that is not restrictive. It's what kind of choices we make
correct.
makes the difference. And so
Correct.
when you make a choice, realize what the consequences are going to be with that choice, and then you can go from there. So if
Yeah.
you're making a bad choice, you know what the consequences are. When that happens, then you're already a step ahead because you can make steps to make changes and to correct those consequences. So when
Yeah.
you look at the consequences of your life, did you have that realization or did that come along as you were experiencing things?
I want to say it came along as I was experiencing things. You know, I really had no, I guess, true insight on what the consequence will be from some of the choices that I made,
Mm-hmm.
right? For instance, you know, I got some younger siblings. And so my mom used to make me take them everywhere I went. I'm going to play ball, take your sisters with you. Going to the store, take your sisters with you. You know, I'm going to see a girl, take your sisters with you. You know, and so it was to the point where I felt like I was living my life for her, for my mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I end up, you know, leaving, going away to college. But the way that I felt at home, I didn't come home very often. I stayed at college, you know. And so my sister told me this when, you know, we were grown, or she was grown, we adults. And she said, you know, when you left, my life left too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said, you were everything to me. My love, my protector, you know, my teacher, you know. And she said, I didn't know how to handle you leaving. So her choices put her into prison
Wow.
because she would act out because her brother wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And so a choice that I made, I didn't know would have the consequence on my sister that it did.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I didn't know, you know, and so she, to this day, she not the same.
Right.
And that's a consequence from the choice I made.
Mm-hmm. And
Now,
so when you look at, and like your sister, looking at the choices she made, um, I think people should understand that you may have made a wrong choice, but you can go beyond that, right? And that
absolutely.
I don't believe in judging people from things they did in the past. You know, don't, grow from it, learn from it, and move forward. You know, remember it because you want to understand what you did and why you did it in order that you don't repeat the behavior.
Right.
So when you're talking to all the young people and you talk to people of all ages, is that
Correct.
something that stays in your mind when you're trying to work with somebody, mentor somebody? Do you give them that type of information to help them understand?
I do. I tell them they have to get it for themselves. You
Mhm,
know, there are so many times where as children we live for our parents, right?
mhm,
Now, my mom didn't work. So it was like my job was her job. Right? And so and I try to let them know that they have to really decide on what they want out of life and which way they want to go,
mhm,
because some of it may entail you having to leave the nest, right?
mhm,
And then you grow your wings and you know which way you want to fly.
mhm.
But then sometimes they say, well, you know what? I can't leave the nest. I'm going to grow and stay right here. And that could be just fine.
Right,
But it has to be your choice.
right.
And the consequence is the consequence. Right.
Mhm,
So when I'm speaking to my students, young players or what have you, it's always, look within yourself and know what it is that you want to do, you know. And I feel that for my sister that no one told her that,
right.
and so um it's one of those situations where I do think about that situation and I try to liberate, those individuals whom I talk to. So, and then also give them a vision, you
Mhm.
know, so they can decide on what it is that they want to do.
And also to understand that their choices is their responsibility.
Absolutely.
It's-
Absolutely.
I think,
Yeah.
and especially now for some, and everybody keeps talking about the way things are now, right? But it seems like people, if something is going wrong in their life, they're looking for somebody to blame. It's somebody's
Correct.
fault, you know. And instead
Yeah.
of trying to work towards a solution, and this could be in any kind of environment. It's
Correct.
not just about young people. This is, in the workplace, we go out. I was watching a video just the other day, and um, a, a woman was walking along, right? And there was a group of people, like four people. One was a woman and three men. And one of the men pushed one of the girls that was standing next to him. He pushed her into the lady that was walking by, and she turned around and slapped the lady. So, it's like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? But I thought it was cool because that's the way people act nowadays. Is
Hmm.
somebody has to be at fault. It can't be just some kind of odd situation, or the consequences of a choice that I made and the impact that is coming along. Somebody is responsible for it. So
Yes.
when something like that, now how do you um, vocalize that to people, especially our young people?
In regards to making a choice.
knowing that your choices are your responsibility.
Oh man, I just hold them accountable. Like I'm probably one of the most
I saw that
oh
in you.
oh my God, like I I hold them accountable.
Hmm.
I think, when they try to give me excuses, I'm not trying to hear them. I want them to be great, and I don't want them to allow certain circumstances to hinder their greatness,
Hmm.
And so I tell my students that, I don't want you just to get an A. I want you to get the knowledge that you need, to be successful outside. An A don't mean that you knowledgeable.
Hmm.
It's a lot of students got A's but don't know nothing. Right.
Because they memorize for the moment.
Right. So I challenge them to be able to articulate, regurgitate everything back to me,
Hmm.
and then apply it to your life.
Right.
Like I got 8 o'clock class. You can't come to my class at 8:01.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no, no. And the ones who understand it are the ones who gonna be successful.
Sure.
The ones that be knocking on my door,
Mhm.
they they gonna have some trouble. They gonna have some problem. It was right. They gonna have a problem. Why I can't come in? Cause you
So
late.
you won't let them into the classroom either?
Oh no.
No.
I,
Wow.
so that first week, I give them, grace. After that, no. No, I tell them, put your hands in your pocket, go get some breakfast. Go get some
I
breakfast.
needed you as a teacher when I was coming up. I was
Yeah, yeah.
always late.
Oh, man, I'm talking about, I got one student to this day. She said, because of your class, I'm never late for anything. And that's just preparing them. You can't show up to your job late. You can't show up to a job interview late,
Exactly.
right? You can't show up to an appointment late. And if you do, then that should be unacceptable. That should bother you,
Yeah.
and then they get on me because I don't cancel class. Some professors, they might, cancel class because it's homecoming. They might cancel class because it's raining. They might cancel class because the sun's shining too bright. I don't cancel class. I say, y'all pay too much money.
That's true.
Tuition is $40,000, $50,000. Then I'm doing you an injustice if I cancel class.
That's very true.
I'm doing you an injustice.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not doing that. So they said, well, we ain't gonna show up. Well, I'm gonna be here. If one show up, I'm gonna teach that one like it's 41.
Exactly.
But nah, that's just me. I just want them to be held accountable for their actions, and prepared for greatness.
Hmm.
Be prepared for greatness because you here for a purpose. And so I want you to identify that purpose and be great in it. Be
Exactly.
great in it. Yeah.
So how did you come about the cover for your book?
So my zodiac, I'm a Libra. That's one,
I am too.
so
That's why it caught my eye.
okay, yeah. So that's one. And then the criminal justice piece,
Hmm.
scales of justice. And then, I kind of like weigh the choices and the consequences,
Yeah.
and so it was it was in my mind, but I didn't really know how to put it together. So somebody had to put it together for me. And
Hmm.
I just had an idea of, what I wanted to look like.
Hmm.
Right. So then I got a fellow frat brother, he's an author, and he say, he got his face on his book. So he like, man, you a handsome guy. I ain't he was like, no homo, you man, you handsome, man. I'd have just put my picture on the book, and then that would have grabbed some attention, things of that nature. So that never crossed my mind,
Really?
but after he said it, then I looked at him and his book. I said, yeah, I probably should have.
So your next book will have
Uh,
your picture.
oh yeah, for sure. There's no question, Ronnie. I'm gonna be front and center.
But I
Yeah,
think the picture that you chose for the book Choices and Consequences is a great picture. And I
thank
think
you.
that as soon as somebody looks at it, they recognize, that you need that balance, you know,
Absolutely.
that
Thank you.
you make
Yeah,
too many wrong choices, those consequences
man,
can be overwhelming. So,
overwhelming.
and it's not
Yeah,
to say that you're not going to make a wrong choice, that people shouldn't be frightened of making a choice because they think it might be the wrong choice. It's just accepting your choices and the consequences around it. You know,
absolutely.
the good choices
Absolutely.
is going to be some good consequences, bad choices going to be bad.
Absolutely. Yes, man. I couldn't say it no better than myself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Boaz, you mentioned that you're thinking about writing another book. What's next? I mean, is the book already formulating, or is it something that you have in your bucket list? Or
Oh my goodness. So it's kind of twofold, right? I got a good friend of mine. And as I was writing this book, I was telling him, like, man, I could just keep writing. And so I was getting to a point where it was like more information kept coming. So I'm writing, and I was just telling him, like, I could just keep going. So he was like, well, Bo, you can actually do a series of books.
yeah,
You don't have to just keep writing this one, right? You can do choices and consequences too.
hmm
And so I was like, oh man, okay. So then I just kind of cut it off. So then it came to me in this coaching profession that I'm in, right?
hmm
Where you have individuals who say one thing but do another.
hmm
Then you have student athletes who say one thing and do another. So I thought about this title, Be True to the Game, because I feel like there is too much dishonesty. There's a lack of transparency
hmm
where if I'm a coach and I'm recruiting your child, I can't tell you your child gonna start in my program, right? But some coaches will do that just to get the kid to come. And then when
Really?
the kid come, it's like, you're not that good. You're not as good as I thought you were,
Wow.
you know. Then you have some coaches where they tell you to network, right? Build relationships and things of that nature, right? So let's say a guy, that you befriended, for years. And he say, man, when I become a head coach, I'm gonna hire you as my assistant. And you're like, okay, okay. So then he gets that opportunity and then he won't take your call.
Oh, yeah.
Come on now, just be true to the game. Don't say you're gonna do something and then you don't do it.
hmm
Or don't communicate, beyond that point. And so I just think that, it's some stuff I need to say that a lot of people can attest to, and agree with. And it's not just the coaching profession, right? It's
So
other, yeah, that this,
businesses.
align with,
Yeah.
but the premise of it is just be true to the game.
hmm
Just be true. Just
Right.
say what you're gonna do. Not gonna do it, just say you're not gonna do it. If you're not sure, say I'm not sure.
hmm
But if you say you're gonna do it, Ronnie,
And do it.
do it. Make it happen.
And no matter what age you are,
Oh, no, no, no.
it can be any time,
Absolutely.
any age, because
Absolutely.
it doesn't make any difference how old you are. You can still have things that you need to work on and correct. Right.
Yeah. And I'm saying my title. Don't nobody else take my title. I don't want
I
to see no book
know.
about to be true to the gang. That's fine.
That's breaking news, everybody. So, Be true to Boaz and leave his title alone.
Absolutely. And another thing, Ronnie, the game is not necessarily a sport. It could be the game of life,
Yeah,
right? Be true to the game. Yeah.
I like that title. So you have
Oh,
to
thank you.
promise
Thank
that
you.
when you release that book, you're gonna come back and talk about it.
Oh, for sure. Most
Okay,
definitely.
that's the
Yeah,
deal.
most definitely.
So, Boaz, it is such a pleasure talking to you, but I know that you have had a full day and
Yes, ma'am.
you were traveling by plane today or driving.
Oh,
You were
no,
on
we
the
took a
flight.
plane. We took a plane. Yes, ma'am. We flew.
So to me,
Yeah.
that's tiring too. So
Oh, yes. Yes, it is.
quiet. So I
Oh,
know you've had a full day, but before you go,
yes.
one of the things that caught my eye about you is the fact that it says inspiring, motivating, and it did say accountability on your bio. So
Yes.
can you just talk to the people for a second and give them something that they can move forward with? If there's stuff right now today, how to help them move forward tomorrow.
Yeah. I would really say that, when you lay down and you wake up, God is saying, I'm giving you another opportunity to do something great.
Mhm.
So I always look at, the next day as an opportunity to touch a life. And the only fingerprint that cannot be removed is the life that you touch. So when I wake up, I know that I have a purpose to impact, influence, and touch somebody's life. So anytime that you wake up, you've been given another opportunity. Now, if you're going through something, and we know true mean you coming out, right? I
Mhm.
always share this story. There was a guy who had, we all carry a cross, and the guy carried a cross on his back. And so he went to the Lord. He said, Lord, this cross is too heavy. This one is just too heavy for me. I want to get another one. So the Lord say, put that one down. Let's go walk around, get another one. So the guy walks around and he looks, he say, oh no, that one over there is too tall. So they kept walking around. That one over there, that's too big. Walking around, that one too short. So he just walked around again. He looks, he said, okay, that one, okay. So he put it on his back. He said, yeah, this it. This is the good one. This the one I need. The Lord say, son, that's the one you just put down. So
That's
it's in essence, you not able to, you able to bear everything that you dealing with.
right.
He's not gonna put more on you than you able to bear. So if you have something before you that you're dealing with, you can handle it. You
That's
can handle it. So
that.
it's no problem. So if you wake up, you able to handle whatever situation it is before you.
That's right.
There's no doubt in my mind. No
Just have
doubt in my
faith.
mind. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
have that faith, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because you wake up for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people didn't wake up. So if you woke up, it's for a reason. Whether the reason could be your family, your spouse, your job. It could be some homeless person you don't even know, but you woke up for a reason. So
Mm-hmm.
when you wake up, you got to make the most of that day. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought. Thank
Hey,
you.
thank you. Oh,
So,
absolutely.
Boaz, I am going to say thank you and give
Yes,
you
ma'am.
back your day.
Yes, ma'am.
And definitely I appreciate you. And I'm so glad that I wasn't so intimidated that I canceled.
No, I appreciate you, Miss Ronnie. I really do,
I thank you
because
so much.
I don't even take it lightly. It's a lot of other people you could be interviewing during this time. But the fact that you chose to, interview me or have a
Mhm.
conversation with me, it means everything to me.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. Because if I die tomorrow, I can say, you know what? I went Ronnie. I went Ronnie before I went. So nah, I'm grateful and thankful. And for me, I told my kids this, and I'm gonna let you go. You know,
Mhm.
I told them when I die, I want my tombstone to read Bo Bivens. He realized nothing because he gave everything.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I give it all.
That is,
Time, clothes, money, knowledge. I'm giving. I don't. Hey, when I lay down, I don't have nothing.
because you can't take it
So
with you.
can't take it. Can't take it.
That's true.
But I want somebody else to have it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I want somebody else to have it.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Everybody, this is Ronnie Sanders with Power Music Radio. We're going to say thank you and bye to Boaz Bivens. I want you to make sure you check out Power Music Radio. We're at www.powermusic, music is spelled with a Z, Muzic, radio.com. On the website, you can listen live, see what the show schedules are, join the Power Club, receive a free gift, and be a part of the birthday club, and also on Facebook and Instagram. And Boaz, I'm going to interrupt myself and just go back to you for a second. How can people get your book, contact you? Because we don't want to forget and leave that out. Okay.
no, so yeah, my book, Choices and Consequences, is on all the platforms. You get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere that you can get a book, it's there. Instagram is Boaz the letter I dot Bivens.
Okay.
LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So anything that I can do, if I can do it, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, go out and get the book. Uh, encourage someone else to get the book, and then that's the way we can continue to make the right choices for
Right.
better consequences.
And website information?
Oh, website. What is my website? My name. Yeah, Boaz Bivens.
And spell your name because your name is unusual.
Yes, it's Boaz.
Cool
That's
name.
Boaz Bivens. Yeah,
Bivens.
correct. Yes, ma'am.
Boaz.
Yeah.
So that was important. It hit me, and I'm like, oh wait, we can't let
Yes,
you go without
yes.
having
No,
that.
I appreciate you.
So everybody, make sure you check out Boaz on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and his website, boazbivens.com. Right.
Correct.
And for Power Music, we're the PMR crew. We have live DJs that does shows as well as some other scheduled shows. So check us out on Facebook and Instagram. We're the PMR crew, and crew is spelled with a K, Krew. So, two unique spellings for what I hope is a unique radio station. So,
Yeah.
Boaz, thank you again. It's been such a pleasure, and make sure you come back.
Oh, anytime, Ronnie. You just let me know. I'm gonna make some time. Just like I said, I just get off a plane, so it don't matter. You just let me know.
Exactly. You're
Nah, thank
you're
you for
correct.
having me. I really enjoyed our conversation. Keep doing what you're doing,
Thank
because what you're doing, this platform is really helping a lot of people, and you are impacting a lot of lives as well. So,
you. Thank you.
yeah, you and everyone at Power Music Radio, keep doing what you're doing.
We have a great team too.
Yes. Yeah.
So everybody, you have a great day and we will talk soon.
Yeah. All right.